79 AD. In the fertile plains of southern Italy, on a hill overlooking the Bay of Naples, one of the most vibrant cities of the Roman Empire was waking up. Pompeii, a city teeming with life, home to nearly 20,000 people, its walls adorned with colourful frescoes, its marketplaces loud and bustling, its wine flowing freely. That morning, no one knew. No one felt it. That day, the greatest disaster in history would find them while they slept. The 24th of August. In the early hours of the day, everything above the city was ordinary. Bakeries were baking bread, merchants were opening their stalls, children were running through cobblestone streets. But just north of Pompeii, approximately 9 kilometers away, Mount Vesuvius was breathing quietly. This giant, which had stood motionless for decades, perhaps centuries, could no longer contain the energy it had been building within. Shortly after midday, at exactly 1 o'clock, the summit of the mountain exploded. The cloud rising into the sky was so enormous, so fast, that those who saw it struggled to understand what was happening. The famous Roman writer Pliny the Younger was on the opposite shore of the bay that day, and he later described what he witnessed in a letter to the historian Tacitus. The cloud rising into the sky resembled a pine tree. It rose from a great trunk and spread into branches at the top. This cloud was in fact a harbinger of death, a massive volcanic column carrying rock fragments, ash, and toxic gas. The first reaction in Pompeii was not panic, but astonishment. People poured into the streets and looked up at the sky. Then the stones began to fall one by one. First small rock fragments, then a rain of walnut-sized pumice. Pompeii began to disappear under volcanic debris. In the first hours, many people could have escaped, and many did. But some chose to wait at home, some lost time gathering their valuables, and some believed they had nowhere to go. Those who fled through Pompeii's gates toward the bay made their way along crowded roads. Some tried to reach the sea and board boats. But the sea was not calm either. It churned with volcanic tremors, and it became nearly impossible to approach the shore. That perfect order established centuries ago had dissolved within a matter of hours. To the north, the city of Herculaneum was sharing the same fate. A wealthier, more refined town than Pompeii, Herculaneum was much closer to Vesuvius. Its residents had taken shelter at the shore, waiting for boats, hoping for vessels to come. But salvation never came for them. The pyroclastic flow, a scorching cloud of volcanic gas, ash, and rock, swallowed Herculaneum in seconds at a temperature of approximately 400 degrees. The people who had waited on the shore for hours were frozen in an instant, in the most literal sense of the word. In Pompeii, the destruction came more slowly, more prolonged. The pumice rain lasted for hours. Roofs collapsed. Streets were buried under rubble. As night fell, the darkness grew heavier, because the ash cloud covering the sky blocked out the sun entirely. The volcano continued to roar through the night. And then, in the early hours of the morning, came the final blow that ended everything. Pyroclastic surges. These devastating flows of volcanic material, gas, and extreme heat descended from the mountain at extraordinary speed. Nothing could stand before these surges moving at hundreds of kilometers per hour. The waves that struck Pompeii left no survivors among those who remained. They left no bodies, either. The ash surrounding them hardened over time and cast them exactly as they were. A man huddled in terror in a corner, a mother shielding the child in her arms, 2 hands holding each other. History froze them. When Vesuvius's fury subsided, Pompeii was no more. A layer of volcanic ash and rock 4 to 6 meters thick lay over it. The city that had once been home to 20,000 people had vanished completely from sight. Years passed. Decades passed. Centuries passed. And Pompeii was forgotten. But the earth kept everything. For nearly 17 centuries, Pompeii lay silently beneath the ground. New lives were built above it. New fields were planted. Then in 1748, excavations begun under the direction of the Spanish engineer Joaquín de Alcubierre brought to light one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in human history. Beneath the ashes stood an entire city, with its streets, homes, and shops, its frescoes and inscriptions, almost untouched. And those casts, those mysterious voids that archaeologists found empty and filled with plaster revealed the silhouettes of people frozen in time. A dog, curled in its final moment, still chained. A man, with a coin purse in his arms, ready to flee. A group of people, huddled together, taking their last breaths in a sheltered corner. These casts were not merely skeletons. They were the final moments of human beings, raw, shattering testimony bursting from within history. As excavations of Pompeii advanced, it became clear just how extraordinarily preserved the city had been. The most detailed record of the Roman imperial period was here, carved into stone, painted onto fresco, etched into wall inscriptions. On the city's walls were found everything from election propaganda to love poems, from bakery advertisements to political criticism. Bread molds were found on a bakery counter, unwiped tally marks on a tavern ledge, a table in a garden, still laden with the fruits and olives of that final autumn. Pompeii was more than a scene of destruction. It was a time capsule, and this discovery changed the course of archaeology and history. For the first time, humanity understood that reconstructing the past did not require written sources alone. The earth could speak. The ash could tell its story. Today, Pompeii is one of the most visited archaeological sites in the world. Every year, millions of people walk those cobblestone streets, following in the footsteps of those who stood under the same sun 2,000 years ago. Listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this city is not merely an excavation area, it is a living place of memory. But the story of Pompeii carries a warning for today as well. Vesuvius is still an active volcano. In this region just beside Naples, where millions of people live, geologists continuously monitor the mountain and draw up evacuation plans in case of a possible eruption. The day history froze also left a question mark for the future. What will happen next time? On that August day in 79 AD, those who lived in Pompeii thought they would have an ordinary day. They baked bread. They went shopping. They sent their children to school. And then, within a matter of hours, a mountain's fury brought everything to a stop. One of history's greatest tragedies also brought with it one of history's greatest gifts. Pompeii did not disappear. It froze. And by freezing, through the very same force that sought to destroy it, it lived forever. The day history froze is still ongoing.